the deal? What is the deal? What is the deal? Make sure you hit that like button. You already know what time it is. Make sure you hit that like button. You already know what time it is. Hey, you see what it is. You see what it is. You see exactly what it is. You already know what time it is. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The NFL is back, baby. The NFL is back. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm gonna let some of y'all come up in here real quick, but make sure you hit that like button, man. Make sure you hit that like button when you get up in here. 'Cause I know y'all been waiting. Y'all been waiting. I've been waiting too. I've been waiting for the NFL season. I've been waiting all year long, and we finally here. We is finally here. We is finally here. We is finally here. What's the deal? What's the deal? Make sure you hit the like button. I see y'all jumping up in here. Yeah. What's the deal? We here. What's the deal? We here. We finally here. You ain't lying. We finally here. It's what's the deal? What's the deal? Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button now. What's good with you? What's good with you? I wouldn't miss this for the world, man. I wouldn't miss this for the world, man. Hey, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. We're gonna talk about Texans versus the Los Angeles Rams. We also gonna talk about some other stuff what's going on the rest of week one. We can also preview some of those things as well, get some predictions and stuff. You know how it is. You know how it is. Make sure you hit that like button already. So what's good, y'all? What's good? Hey, we is finally here. We is finally back, baby. We finally back. Week one. The Houston Texans are going to Los Angeles. I think it's our first time ever playing in that new stadium. And was it is it Solo Stadium? Name of that stadium. Is it Solo? Sci-Fi? Whatever the name of that stadium is. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Texans' first time actually playing in that stadium. We're gonna go to the stadium twice this year. We're gonna go week one, I think also week 17. We go up there on my opinion, I think it's going to be against the Chargers. I mean, well, I know it's against Chargers. In my opinion, I think it's going to be that Saturday game. I think that's going to be a Saturday night game. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. But it's going to be our first time playing in that stadium. And hey, I think that this is going to be a good matchup. I'm not going to say great matchup, but I definitely think it's going to be a good matchup because I think with that front that the Rams have, I think it's going to be a good test to see exactly how this offensive line work, how Nick Caley, how Popovich got this offensive line working, and is this a different type of offensive line? Because we've heard a lot of good things all camp. I've been saying this throughout the summer to some people, shout out everybody in the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you know what it is. I've been telling people all summer that all through training camp, rather, all we hearing from Ursery, all these things that we hear about this rookie Ursery that we got in the second round out of Minnesota, and that we haven't heard this much hype, and we haven't heard this much about a rookie offensive lineman coming into the season. We haven't heard that much about a rookie offensive lineman coming into the season since Dwayne Brown. I'm not saying Ursery is going to be Dwayne Brown. I'm not saying that Ursery is going to be Dwayne Brown. But what I am saying is this is the first time that we've heard so much about an offensive lineman or rookie offensive lineman coming to a season since we heard about Dwayne Brown. We heard a lot of good things about Dwayne Brown. A lot of people were skeptical when Rick Smith drafted Dwayne Brown in the first round. They say it was a reach and things like that. You heard people say the same thing about Ursery as well. But Ursery came out there during training camp and completely took a job. Cam Robinson went down with an injury, and Ursery came out there and took that job and made Cam Robinson sit down. Like, Cam, sit down, sit down. This is Ursery's job right now, and I think that's great. That's a great thing because that shows the nastiness, because that's something that this offensive line been needing. That's something that Laramie Tunsil did not bring to this offensive line. He didn't bring a nastiness. He was very finesse, very finesse. Great pass blocker, but did not give you what you needed in the run game as far as run blocking. And he was a guy. If you go back and watch a lot of Laramie Tunsil's tape, he will block his initial guy, and then after he blocked his initial guy, he stopped. The play is still going on. It's not like the play is stopped. The play is still going on. And Laramie would just stop. And CJ doing what he got to do. He running around doing stuff, and he stopped. And that right there, maybe because you start seeing Titus do the same thing. You start seeing other offensive linemen do the same thing. They didn't have that nastiness, that grit that you're used to offensive linemen having, the big uglies. That's what, hey, that's not a diss. That's calling them big uglies was a term of endearment. There was a positive thing that, hey, those guys are big uglies. Hey, shout out to that boy, Big B, for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. We're gonna put belt to ass tomorrow. Hey, Big B said we're gonna put belt to ass tomorrow. Hey, are we gonna put belt to? I got the prediction coming. But is it gonna be built as? Hey, but shout out that boy Big B for the super chat. Love, definitely appreciate that. But that's what we've been seeing out of Ursa. We've been seeing in NASA's him talking about that how he eats and breathes to make sure he protects his quarterback. That's the thing that he thinks about the most is protecting his quarterback. That's what we need because we gotta make sure 7 is upright. Because I am a firm believer that if CJ Stroud is upright, CJ Stroud is a top 5 quarterback. Right now, it's obviously Patrick Mahomes, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Joe Burrow, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Josh Allen. I feel like those are the automatically top 4. And then I know some people want to put in Jalen Hurts because he just won a Super Bowl. For some reason, people constantly always talk about Justin Herbert, even though he's 0-2 in the playoffs. People when they already anoint Jalen Daniels. I think CJ is in that. I feel like not right now because of what you've seen last season and that tape last year wasn't good tape. I know all the circumstances, missing receivers, offensive line, Bobby Slowick, all these different type of things. But Bobby Slowick was offensive coordinator CJ's rookie year as well. Had pretty much the same type of receivers his rookie year as well. Offensive line actually was worse his rookie year because it was games that it was a stretches of games, but he didn't have a Larry Tunsil or a Tyus Howard his rookie year, and that's actually when the offense actually looked at its best. I think there's a reason for that. But so again, I understand all the things that people say, but CJ himself had chances and opportunities last season, the Detroit Lions game, the Green Bay game, the second half against Kansas City. It was times that CJ could have stepped up and actually been that guy, and we didn't see it last year. And I feel like that we're going to see it this year. But you got to keep 7 up. You got to keep 7 up. You got to keep 7 clean. And this front that the Los Angeles Rams have, this front is a very formidable front. I think, is it the best front in the league? No, I don't think it's the best front in the league. But it's up there. They have a lot of talent. They can get to the quarterback. So it's definitely going to be a test. It's an early test, early on, week 1, to see exactly what Nick Caley and what Greg Popovich can do with this offensive line. Remember, Nick Caley was a tight ends coach. Greg Popovich has been in New England. These guys know each other from New England and all these different type of things. So I want to see all that good stuff y'all been talking, all that good hype y'all been hyping up. Can y'all do y'all job? Can you coach this offensive line to protect our quarterback, keep 7 upright so he can go up there because he got a cast of receivers to throw to. You already got Nico Collins, who I believe is a top 5 receiver. And if I'm not mistaken, in the NFL top 100, I think he was actually 5th. I think he was the 5th receiver. I think even the NFL top 100, they consider him as the 5th best receiver in the league. I think that he's the 5th best receiver in the league as well. I think obviously you got Jettis, you got Jamar, you got Thursday night withstanding with AJ Brown and both CeeDee Lamb because some of them catches, if you're a top 5 receiver, CeeDee, you gotta make some of them catches. And AJ Brown only had like 1 target in 1 catch or 2 targets in 1 catch. So Thursday withstanding, I still believe that those guys are top 5 caliber receivers. But I also think that Nico Collins is as well. And I think that Nico Collins, this is the year that Nico Collins needs to take the bull by the horn, no pun intended, and needs to actually step up, remain healthy, and actually take that. So it's a consensus that Nico Collins is that type of receiver. He belongs in the same conversation as a Andre Johnson and a DeAndre Hopkins when you talk about Texan great receivers. I seen somebody, I think it was the Pick Aside podcast, and they did NFL trios of receivers, and they brought up Andre Johnson, D-Hop, and then Nico Collins. I'm like, Nico needs to prove himself to be in the same room because obviously he's the weakest link of those 3. Obviously, Andre Johnson, Hall of Famer. DeAndre Hopkins is a future Hall of Famer. And both of those guys at any point in their career, was considered the best receiver in the league. There's a point that Andre Johnson, he was the first receiver since Jerry Rice to have back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons. It was years when Hopkins was leading the league in catches and leading the league in touchdowns and things like that. He was considered the best receiver in the league. And they were going up against the Calvin Johnsons and the A.J. Browns, Antonio Browns and the Larry Fitzgerald and stuff like that. They were going up against great receivers. You guys are, Jez in this league and and Jamar Chase in the league. No, those guys are going up big name receivers. Randy Mosses and Terrell Owens. Those guys had Marvin Harrison's. They had high caliber Hall of Fame great receivers in their class as well. Julio Joneses and things like that. But these guys still was able to hold their own. So Nico Collins, this is your time. This is your time to go out there and prove, because you got something that neither Hop or Andre had. And Hop has had a flash of it, but not throughout the time, not throughout the control of his career, having an actual legitimate quarterback. Those guys didn't have that. And Hopkins played with a cast of quarterbacks before he got Defoe. You only went 2 years without having a quarterback. Now you got, this is going to be your third straight year with CJ Stroud. Your third straight year with CJ Stroud. Hop only had 3 years with Deshaun. That was it. That's all he had. And then Matt Schaub was Andre Johnson's best quarterback he's ever had as well. So, and I think that CJ Stroud can be a top 5 quarterback. So you have something that these guys. So this is the time, and this is the time. So like I said, CJ has those weapons. He has a receiver like that. I know people are worried. People are concerned because Kurt is out with a hamstring. Guy who normally has injury issues. He's had these type of issues before. This is not the first, second, or third time I think he's missed time the last 2 seasons. I think he missed like 7 games the last year, or only played 7 games last year, and the year before only played 12. So he's a guy who's missed time. And we kind of said that when they traded for him, like, okay, even though I said I think that he was your insurance policy, I know it's kind of funny about, okay, your insurance policy going to be a receiver that's hurt, just like how your other, because that was your problem going to the playoffs, is injuries. I understand that, but I thought it was more so of an insurance policy of, because no matter what happened in the draft, you were going to have a receiver. So you need to just add more receiving talent to the room. So again, having a hamstring issue is going to guarantee miss week 1, potentially also miss more time, at least week 1. I don't really think he'll be ready for week 2. Hopefully he will, but he might not be. But are we tripping about it? No. Is the only concern I feel like is that if you're dealing with a hamstring issue week 1 before you play an actual NFL game, you're going to be dealing with a hamstring issue all year long. You're going to be dealing with this hamstring all year long. The entire year, you're going to be dealing with a hamstring. That's my personal opinion. That's why I think it's going to happen. I feel like you're going to be, if you're dealing with a soft tissue injury before the NFL season starts, it's going to be something that you're going to be dealing with all year. So it's going to be a game in week 13, week 17, whatever. Hey, Kurt might not play this game. He ain't practiced. He game time decision, might not play. So if you got him on your fantasy team, he's not somebody I feel like you should wait until he's active before you actually play him. And then even still, a guy who might get taken out of the first half of the game if he's dealing with hamstring issue. But that's the reason why you drafted in the second round Jalen Higgins, and why you also drafted Jalen Noel. This is going to be Jalen Noel's time. And a lot of people all off season long, or all summer long rather, been talking about Jalen Noel was their favorite draft pick. Jalen Noel was the best receiver in the draft, apparently. Jalen Noel, because he could run a 4-3, whatever he was running, a 4-2, a 4-3-2, or a 4-4-2, whatever he was running. He had a real fast 40 time. He's in the slot. And in the first preseason game, when he caught that screen and made a move and got the first down, run no people. People been talking about Jalen Noel. People been talking about Jalen Noel more than they've been talking about Jalen Higgins. And Jalen Higgins was the second pick in the second round. Jalen Noel was a third round pick. But people are constantly talking about Jalen Noel. But yet and still, y'all are worried that Kurt is not going to be ready for week 1. This is a good thing. Step up. This is why we drafted Jalen Noel. This is what we want to see. So I don't understand really why it should even be a concern, because this is what we wanted to see. We want to see Jalen Noel play, and we're going to see it right off the rip. And again, Braxton Berrios might not be playing as well. He might be out week 1. Hey, would that mean no? Get out there in the return game and do exactly what Ursery did. Cam Robinson got hurt during training camp. Ain't no more Cam Robinson starting at left tackle. Ursery's the new left tackle now as a rookie. Game one, week one, game one, out there starting, protecting your quarterback. Jalen Noel, hey, no Braxton Berrios in the return game. No Kurt in the slot. Jalen Noel, come on down. Take both of them jobs and be a starting receiver in the slot and be the primary punt returner. Point blank, period. In the story, in the discussion, show us why you were worth drafting was it 79th overall? Show us why you was worth doing that after we just drafted a receiver just a couple picks before that. Then why we had to double dip for another receiver. Show us why we had to do that. So go out there, step up, and actually go out there and contribute. I think he will actually. I don't have a problem with it. I actually think that he will step up. I think he will show up, and I think he will go out there and be productive in both the return game and as a pass catcher. And I think that he's going to show everybody why they should draft him. I think he's going to show everybody why he's that type of receiver. I think when he's the Cyclones all-time leading receiver. Again, um he had some drop issues throughout college, and he cleared that up some with his last year. He had a better drop rate this past year than he had years prior. However, he is an all-time lead receiver for Iowa State, now pushing back one of his Texan teammates, not Higgins, but X-Man, Xavier Hudson, pushing him back to being second. So, and again, all these guys are now going to get a ample opportunity week one. Ain't no D'Amico's even said this, that we're not waiting on no rookies. Show us why you a star. And also, speaking of showing people, man, show me why y'all wanted me to go live with everybody. Spence, where you at? Hey, Spence, when you gonna go live? Spence, when you gonna drop a video? We've been waiting. It's the summer. We ain't heard nothing from you. Spence, where you been? Where you been? Hey, I see y'all jumping in here, but y'all not hitting the like button. Make sure the likes are going up. So show me why you like the content. Make sure you hitting that like button. Also, make sure you also sharing this video, sharing this live. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell everybody that your boy is going live right now. I'm also going live after the game as well. But never mind that. We going live right here, right now. So make sure that y'all sharing this live on all the social medias that you use, the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the TikToks, whatever your Tinder account. I don't care where you're showing it at. Snapchat. I don't care where you at. I don't care what social media you use. I don't know where. I don't know if you're still using MySpace. I don't know what you're using, how you're using it, what you're doing with it. But hey, let everybody know on wherever that you showing it on that your boy is going live. Make sure they know it. Make sure they know it. Make sure they contribute. Make sure they on here watching. Make sure they watching what's going on. And also make sure they hitting the like button as well. Really, really appreciate that. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make them likes go up, man. Come on now. Make sure that them likes is going up. Now, but like I was saying though, we got a lot of weapons, and we need CJ to be upright to go out there and throw touchdowns, protect the football. We need to step up from our tight ends as well. We this year, I'm very surprised that with the 53 man roster that we only kept two tight ends. I do think some of that has to do with Brevin Jordan being hurt. Because obviously, if Brevin Jordan wouldn't been hurt, I think he would have been the third tight end. But having just cased over and Dalton Schultz being out there. I'm surprised that those are going to be the only two tight ends, but you did bring in, like, you kept a slew of running backs because I really thought they're going to find a way to move on from DP. And I do think that the Mixon injury and them putting Mixon on the pup list, I do think that has something to do why we still have DP on the roster. Obviously, Nick Chubb is going to be the starting running back. I think Woody Marks is going to get a lot of run as far as I think he's going to get catches. I think he's going to get the football. I'm thinking the carries are going to be split. I think Chubb's going to get majority of the carries, but I think if we run the football 25 times, Chubb get 15. I think Woody Marks gets 10. I think Woody Marks is going to get a decent amount of carries and a decent amount of touches in the game. And also, I need to see I need to see what you call it, be able to drop a running game. I need to see Nick Caley be able to draw up and coach a running game. And again, Nick Caley's like, this is gonna be a game plan offense. I remember when Mechie was out here during training camp, Mechie said that the offense is very similar to the offense he ran in Alabama when Bill O'Brien came over to be the offensive coordinator. And I know some people might grit their teeth with that. I'm not surprised with that because how Nick Caley spent a lot of time in New England, and also so did Greg Popovich spend a lot of time in New England. I understand that Nick Caley last year was with the Rams, but he was only with the Rams for 2 years, and he spent like 10 years in New England. So you spend 10 years one place, 2 years another place. Where do you think the biggest of your influences are going to come from? Going to come from where you was there for 10 years. Now you came here for 2. Are you going to take some of the things that you learned in the recent 2 years because they're more recent? Absolutely. But the bulk of what you do is going to come from that 10-year spot. I mean, it's just plain simple math. That's where the bulk of that's going to come from. It's going to come from what you did in the 10 previous years. So I do think that it's going to have a lot of new English elements, but also it's still going to have some Rams and what's his name, Sean McVay flavor. And obviously, I think that he's gonna contribute his own little sauce, his own little flavor. And same thing with Greg Popovich. But I need them both to be able to catch and get a coach. I mean, a actual legitimate run game. Because last year I said it ad nauseum. I was arguing with people on Twitter in the Twitter spaces. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know exactly what I was arguing last year in the Twitter spaces. If you was on Twitter in the Twitter spaces, I was arguing this, saying ad nauseum that the Houston Texans last year did not have a running game. Let me repeat: the Houston Texans last year did not have a good running game. Outside of Joe Mixon, they could not run the football. You cannot coach it well, scheme it well, run it well, call it well, execute it well. Nothing. The only person that was able to do something was Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon can run the football. We know he's a Pro Bowl running back. We know that he's a legitimate running back. He's a bell cow running back. We know they understand that. But if you take him out of the equation, you cannot run the football. That's not a good running game. Just because Joe Mixon had 1,000 yards, and mind you, it took him to the last game of the season to have 1,000 yards. You play 17 games. I understand that he missed time, but he only missed 3 games. He missed he missed half of week 2. He missed all of week 3. He missed all of week 4 and missed all of week 5. And then came back after that. Because he came back against the Patriots. So he missed week 5, week 4, and week 3. And missed half of week 2 because he got hurt in that Bears game. So that's 3.5, 4 games. It took him all the way to the last game of the season to get 1,000 yards. And it wasn't his fault. I'm not blaming him. I'm saying that he didn't have a good running attack because they couldn't coach it well for him. They couldn't call it well for him. They couldn't scheme it well for him. And the offensive line sure couldn't block it well for him. He did everything off his own muscle. Everything was off of him. All those 1,000 yards and touchdowns. That game against Dallas, when we was running all over Dallas, he had 3 touchdowns and 150 yards. Week 1 is the only week that they actually blocked well. That is the only real week. Week 1 against Indy last year was the only time that they really hey, we got a good legitimate ground game when he won AFC Player of the Week. Hey, we got a really legit ground game. We actually thought that because they actually did block it well week 1. They did scheme it well week 1. They did coach it well week 1. They did call it well week 1. And they damn sure ran it well week 1 with Joe Mixon. After that, all that went out the window except when Joe Mixon was carrying the football. He was able to run it well. Other than that, they couldn't do it. So we did not have a good running attack last year. We had a slightly average running attack because we had a above average running back running the football. That is the news flash for the 2024 Houston Texans. Now, with this iteration, with the 2025 Houston Texans being coached by Nick Caley and Greg Popovich running this offensive line with a brand new offensive line outside Tyus Howard, I want them to be able to actually scheme up a legitimate running attack. And what that means is When you need to run the football, you can run the football. When it's short yardage, you can get those short yardage. Not when everything is all open up and you spread everything out all open up and hey, and it's a big old hole. When the defense last year was allowing you to run the football because they were running cover two, and they like, hey, run the football because what we gonna do is we gonna make sure that you're not gonna beat us deep. So hey, all this in the middle, y'all can have all that. Y'all can have all them yards. I don't care about none of that. Okay, y'all ain't getting back here. Y'all not getting back here. So y'all can have all that, and you still couldn't get it. You still couldn't get it. You couldn't get nothing. So can Nick Caley and Greg Popovich one take advantage of a defense running cover two and be able to run the football freely when they do that, and then when they start bringing them linebackers down and start bringing them safeties down and start crowding up that box, and you start hitting them over the head with the passing attack. But if you still need to run the football, can you actually still run the football without Joe Mixon? We'll be able to see that starting tomorrow. So that's something that I'm looking for. And again, against this front, there's a decent front. This is some of the things that I'm really interested in. So again, this is, I think, a very good matchup week one for the Houston Texans. I think we're going to learn. I think we're going to learn a lot in the next 2 weeks. This week and really next week on Monday night, because I think Monday night is going to be that's going to be something. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to that Monday night game. But I do think that this is going to be something that we definitely need to look into. So I think that this is going to be a very compared matchup. And that's just on the Texans offensive side of the football and the Rams defensive side of the football. But what about on the opposite end? The Houston Texans defense against this Rams offense. Once again, I think that this is a good matchup because the Texans, who I feel like have a championship level defense, the Texans, who I feel like have a top five defense. I don't know if they're number one, but I definitely believe that they are a top five defense. You already said, yeah, Clam City, Swarm City, City of Swarm, whatever you want to do it. I like the City of Swarm because it kind of like City of Surb. So I do like the City of Swarm. I like that, like kind of like City of Surb, the City of Swarm. Hey, like that City of Serve, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Mo, City of Serve, you know what I'm saying? So City of Swarm, I like that. I really like that. But yeah, Clamp City already. Um, I do think that, like I said, this Texan defense is a top five defense. Don't know if they're the number one. I don't think number one defense because the Texas defense has an Achilles heel. It has a very weak point. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But I do think they're a top five defense. But I definitely believe this is the best secondary in the league. I think this is the number one secondary league. When you're talking about your cornerbacks or Darius Stingley Jr., Kamari Lassiter, your safeties or Kalen Bullock, CJ Garner Johnson, and then also you bringing back Jalen Petrie. I think that this is the best secondary in the NFL. Is it the best defense in the NFL? Like I said, I think it's top five. I think it's a championship level defense. Definitely think they're top five. They have a weakness in the defense, but from the secondary, I believe they're the best secondary in the league. And you're talking about week one going up against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Now, Devontae Adams is not the same Green Bay Devontae Adams. So I don't think he's that good. I mean, the Green Bay Devontae Adams is a top five receiver, but he's still a good receiver. And you have a good quarterback in Matt Stafford is able to get the football to him. Now, again, he's coming off the back injury, hasn't practiced a lot, didn't play any in the preseason, hasn't practiced a lot. So it remains to see exactly how he's going to be feeling week one. And I do think that that's going to hinder him, especially when you talk about these two guys coming off the edges and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. And I think Will Anderson is aiming to get a defensive player of the year, especially going into a contract season. Think about it, like both Will and CJ are going to be getting paid next summer. So both of them this year are trying to put their best foot forward. CJ's best foot has to come with the team success, which means getting to an AFC Championship game, getting to a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl. That's going to get CJ paid, and also is going to get CJ paid. Will, it don't matter if the Texans win the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl, get to an AFC Championship game, get to the divisional round, get to the wild card. That doesn't matter about Will's contract. Will needs to accumulate numbers. He needs to accumulate stats. He needs to get 12 plus. I mean, he needs to get double digit sacks and not 12 plus sacks. We're talking about 15 plus sacks. He needs to be in the conversation of or winning or flat out winning defensive player of the year if he wants to get paid. That's what he needs to go out there and either win defensive player of the year or go out there and accumulate a whole bunch of stats and be in the conversation of defensive player of the year. And it starts week 1 against Matt Stafford, who got a bad back and out there go out there getting a bad back. You got to get to the quarterback. You have to go out there and get to the quarterback. Him and Daniil. But Daniil was like 25 on the NFL top 100. I think Will was like 44, 47, somewhere around there. 40, I think it might have been 48. Some I know he was in the 40s. I think he might have been 48 if I'm not mistaken. I think Will was like 25 or something like that if I'm not mistaken. I know Will was in the 20s. Will was in the 20s. I know Daniil was in the 20s and Will was in the 40s. Both of those guys coming off the edges got to get to the quarterback. They got to apply the pressure on Matt Stafford. I need Aziz and the total oldest to be able to cover as well as linebacker, sideline to sideline, and stop Kyrie Williams and things like that. And again, Puka's going to be lined up in that slot. And so is Devontae, because Devontae also plays a lot of the slot as well, even though he's the outside receiver. He definitely goes into the slot. So, and what they're gonna try to do, they're gonna try to get away from Darius Stingley. They don't want to throw at an all-pro cornerback. They don't want to throw with who I believe might be the best cornerback in the league out of him and Pat Surtain. And I understand Pat Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year. Only thing, not even that. I think that Darius Stingley is the best cornerback in the league. So scratch what I was about to say. I think Darius Stingley is the best cornerback in the league. So they're going to try to avoid number 24. The problem with that is, even if you try to avoid number 24, you still got to throw to number 4. You still got to throw to Kamari. And Kamari is not a slot. It's not like in that Dallas game when you go away from Quinyon Mitchell and you throw into Adoree Jackson. Like, okay, I have a weak link to throw to. I throw to Adoree Jackson. I got a weak link to throw to. This now a weak link is Stingley, who is obviously the best cornerback in the league, and then Kamari. It could be the best corner on like over 50% of the elite, over 50% of the other teams in the NFL. He can be their best number 1 corner. That's how good Mari is. Mari could be the best cornerback on like 50% of the teams. So what, like on about 15 teams in the NFL, Kamari Lassiter would be the best cornerback on their team. He would be their number 1 cornerback, and he's the number 2. So there's other situations that you would not target Kamari. But you rather target Kamari than target Darius Stingley. That's why I do think that Darius Stingley will get some run this year. It's not going to be like a Nnamdi situation when Nnamdi was in Oakland and they just never threw at Nnamdi's side, because why would you throw at Nnamdi's side? Because the other cornerback on the opposite side of Nnamdi back then, they didn't have a good cornerback, so they would just avoid Nnamdi all the time. That's the reason why Nnamdi for years on Madden had like a 99 overall, a 98 overall, wherever it was. And you're like, who is this dude? I don't even know this dude. Why he got this big overall? Because ain't nobody throwing to him. That's why you don't know him, because he really liked that. And the other corner on the other side ain't good at all. So I'm gonna just throw to him all day. So Nnamdi not gonna get no run. That's not the situation with Darius Stingley and Kamari Lassiter. Not to mention, you got the safeties with the addition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, him making his debut as a Houston Texan, and also Kalen Bullock, who I think is a very legitimate safety, a ball-hawking safety, a safety that takes the football away. He's one of those guys that the football just finds a way to get him. Like, he finds a way around the football at all times. He finds a way to get the football. That's how how Kamari Lassiter is. I mean, Kalen Bullock is. Kalen Bullock is a guy that, hey, I'm a rookie. I'm gonna just get 5 interceptions. And you can also say the same thing about Jalen Petrie. Jalen Petrie, his rookie year had a whole bunch of interceptions. Also dropped a whole bunch of interceptions as well. And C.J. Garner-Johnson got a lot of time. Like this secondary, individually, these players individually get the football. These guys turn the football over. They find a way to get their hands around the football. I think the biggest ball hawk on the team, I think, really is Kalen Bullock, even though I know Stingley the last 2 years has gotten 5 interceptions because he liked that. But I definitely think that Kalen Bullock is one of those guys that just finds a way to get his hands on the football. He finds a way to get his hands on the football. He finds a way to knack for the football. But like I was saying earlier, the Texans defense does have a weakness last year. It was a big weakness in every game. In all 19 games last year, 17 regular season, 2 playoff games, the Texans allowed a big play in every single game, no matter if they was blowing somebody out or they got blown out. Every single game, the Houston Texans defense allowed a big play. Every single game. Even that blowout game against the Chargers, Ladd got with an 80-yard touchdown. Kansas City in the divisional round, Travis Kelce and that big play with Travis Kelce. AR, who can't throw the football accurate. In week 1 had 3 plus 50-yard plays. He had 2 50-yard plays and a 60-yard play. And then had another one in the game he played in Houston. Every single game. The game when against Buffalo, when Josh Allen was 9-30. One of those 9 was a 49-yard touchdown. The Texans defense gave up a big play in every game last year. Every single game. And then also in the joint practice against Detroit, gave up a big play against the Detroit Lions. So until they go a couple of games, I'm not just saying, after they get one game, or no, they need to go at least, in my opinion, 3. I'm gonna just say 3. 3 games in a row. 3 games in a row, and not give up big plays. So if you go week 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, or 8, 9, and 10, or 15, 16, 17. I don't know. But if you just go 3 games in a row and don't give up a big play, it doesn't have to be a touchdown. It doesn't have to be a touchdown because some of those plays weren't touchdowns. Some of those big plays just got them into the scoring range and scoring right after it. But most of them were touchdowns. If they can go big without getting a big play, and I'm not talking about I'm not talking about like a 10-yard play or 15-yard play. I'm talking about a big play. You know what a big play is? Something that's field flipping, or a big touchdown, like a 40-yard touchdown. Like if they can go without giving up a big play, I will stop saying that. But until then, until that happens, this defense gives up big plays. That is the weakness of this defense. As good as the secondary is, as good as the pass rush is, as good as the D-line plays, how the linebackers play, this Texan defense still constantly gives up big plays. And this ability to give up a big play. I mean, Devontae Adams had a big play with the Jets last year when we played them on Thursday Night Football. So I could see this team giving up a big play tomorrow with a person like Matt Stafford that has an arm. I could see them giving up a big play. I would not be shocked tomorrow if they give up a big play. It wouldn't shock me at all. So the Texans defense needs to find a way to not give up a big play. Like that's the weakness of this defense. I think everything else about the defense, able to play the quarterback, able to get to the pass rush. This was the best secondary. This was the number 1 pass defense last year. Even despite all that, this is the number 1 pass defense last year. But still, they were able to give up big plays. And I think that this pass defense has gotten better when you add in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I feel like it's gotten better. But I do think that they got to fix that. They absolutely have to find a way to fix the secondary doing that. They just do. They got to find a way. They got to find a way of it's not just secondary. Sometimes the linebackers as well, but they got to find a way to actually go out there and fix and not give up these big plays, because that could be the difference of winning a game or losing a game, or putting yourself in a situation like, we had this game under wraps. Now we got to go out there and do even more to even try to get to this game. So that is a situation that I feel like the Texans got to find a way to fix. And until they do, I'm going to keep on saying it. But they definitely do give up big plays. Now, I say all that. Let's actually talk about what I think is going to happen in tomorrow's game. Let's actually talk about exactly what can and what will happen in the game on Sunday. Again, Texas play against the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean Los Angeles Rams. I'm sorry, we do play the Chargers, but that's not till later on. But the Los Angeles Rams in Silo, whatever the name of that stadium is, out there in LA. Y'all know what it is. It's out there in LA. First time Texas going out there. We're out there playing in that stadium. I think the game is at 3:25, 3:25 Central Time. I guess because it's a West Coast game, that's why they guys playing there late. Normally Texas play at noon, but I guess because we're playing on the West Coast, that's why it's that late of a game. But this is what I think is going to happen against the Los Angeles Rams, because I do think it's going to be a very interesting game. I do think it's going to be a very, very competitive game for the most part, but I do think the Texans go out there and handle business. I have the Houston Texans defeating the Los Angeles Rams 27-17. I have them winning by 10 points. I have the Houston Texans winning. And this is what some of my predictions I got. I got CJ throwing for 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I have Nico going out there getting 7 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. I got Jalen O catching 5 passes for 70 yards. I got Jalen Higgins catching 4 passes for 55 yards and his first career touchdown. I got Nick Chubb carrying the ball 15 times for 7 yards. And it's a little over 4 yards to carry. And I got Willie Martz, 10 carries, 50 yards, roughly around 5 yards to carry. Well, actually, it is 5 yards to carry. I got both Will and Daniil Hunter, both of them getting a sack and a half, which means I have them both getting their own individual solo sack. And I also have both of them combining for a sack. So there's going to be, I think they will sack, Matt Stafford 3 times in the game. And I do think that, like I said, Will get 1 sack, Daniil will get the other sack, and then they'll both combine for a combined sack. And also, I think that CJ gets held up right. I think CJ remains clean and does not get hit at any point in the game. So I think the Texans able to keep CJ upright, and I think it's going to be a good sign going forward for the offensive line. On the Rams side, I got Matt Stafford throwing for 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I got Puka Nacua getting the football a lot. I got him getting 10 catches for 80 yards. And I got Devontae Adams getting 5 catches for 70 yards and the touchdowns. I got Kyron Williams getting I don't have how many carries, but I got him going getting 75 yards and a touchdown. And I think that Kalen Bullock gets that interception. I think Caleb Bullock gets the interception. I think that Matt's going to try as much as he can to stay away from going to try as much as he can to stay away from Sting. So I think he's going to try as much. So that's why I don't think Sting actually gets it. But I do think that Kalen Bullock goes out there and he gets an interception. So I do think Caleb Bullock got the interception. But like I said, I got CJ going for 275 and 3 touchdowns. Nico, 7 catches, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. I got Jalen O getting 5 catches for 70 yards. I got Higgins getting 4 catches for 55 yards in his first career touchdown. And I got Nick Chubb getting 15 carries for 7 yards. And Willie Martz getting 10 carries for 50 yards. Like I said, Will and Daniil both getting a sack and a half apiece, and I got Kalen Bullock catching an interception. So that's what I think is going to happen in the game. The Houston Texans winning 27-17. I think it's going to be a decent game, but I do think that CJ and Nico seal the deal. I think it will be, We talking about a 20-17 game late in the fourth, and CJ able to shut the door because that's something he talked about last year, and we didn't do it last year. You look at the Rams game, you look at the Bills game. What's another game that I said Rams. I'm in Lions. Like the Lions game, we should have closed out the Lions game. We didn't, and the Lions came back and beat us. We should have closed out the Bills game. They came back and made it a game that we had to have a game-winning field goal. So that was the teaser, and then the actual it happened it actually happened. Same thing against Green Bay. We had the ball in the possession against Green Bay with the lead. We should have put them away. That's another game. So those are games that we should have put away, that we had the opportunity to put away, and we did not put away. I think, unlike CJ's rookie year against Jacksonville, when Jacksonville started to come back, we put him away. Against Pittsburgh, and start coming back, we put him away. Like we did that CJ's rookie year. We put those teams away when it was time to put them away. And actually, we started to do that in the line. We started doing that in the Chargers game. After Lag catches that touchdown, the Texans go out there and put more points on the board. Like we were able to put a team away. So we did it against the Chargers in the playoffs game. So we start to get back to that putting teams away. And I feel like that's something that we're going to do going forward. And that's something that CJ's been a big opponent of. That's something that I've been a big opponent of. I talked about it ad nauseum in the Discord, and people in the Discord, if you're in the Discord, shout out to everybody out there in the Discord. Y'all know this. I talk about this all the time, that we need to be able to put teams away. Like Big B said earlier in the super chat, belt the ass. Like we need to go out there. We need to have that type of performance. That when we're up on the team, be up on the team. Stomp on them. Put them out. Like put them out. Like put that team out. Make sure that they know that they can't come back. We got the guys in Will and Daniil be able to pin their ears back and go head hunt for the quarterback. We got two bookend pass rushers. So come on. Go head hunting. We have an elite secondary that can take away the football, and Darius Stingley and Kamari Lassiter and Caleb Bullock, and now you add in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Not to mention, if you add what you have in your playing the star position with Jalen Petrie. Like what you have Jalen Petrie doing. Like you have the means to be able to take away the football with those guys, with those five guys. You could take away the football with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Stingley and Petrie and Kamari and Caleb Bullock. Those five guys, they have the capability of taking away the football. And then Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, those guys have the ability to rush the pass rusher and get to the quarterback at an elite level. Not just they some okay pass rushers. Both of them are elite level pass rushers. You drafted one third overall. You jumped up the draft 1/3 overall. Daniil Hunter is a career, just like how you talk about what's his name from Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, all them 1,000-yard seasons. Look at all the double-digit sack seasons that Daniil had with Minnesota and now with Houston. Like, look at all them seasons of double-digit sack. I think the only time he don't have a double-digit sack is a season he didn't finish. Like, but other than that, double-digit, I think his rookie year, and it's like a season where he didn't play the whole season. Other than that, it's double-digit, all them double-digit sacks, and you jumped up to the 3rd overall pick to draft Will Anderson. He better get you double-digit sacks. That's his job. You jumped up from pick 12 to pick 3 to draft him. He has to be generational. He has to be life-changing defensive player of the year caliber player, or that was a wasted pick. And we know he has the talent and the ability to do it. So I need you to do it. That's what I need you to do. That's what you have the ability to do. That's why we jumped up and got you. It's because you're able to do that. Or else that's a wasted pick. You want a payday, right? You want to get paid, right? Well, show me why you want to get paid. Show me why you should be defensive player of the year. Go out there and get the quarterback. And I'm not talking about 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I'm talking about a bunch of times. I'm talking about 15 plus times. Go out there, get the quarterback, get him on the ground, and let's change the possession. Let's stop the drives. In the drive, sacks are drive backbreakers. And that's what I need you to do. I need you to break them drives up. I need you to put a stop to those drives. Come on, we're not playing around here. We're not playing around here. We are trying to get to a Super Bowl, and tomorrow is week one. Tomorrow is game one. Tomorrow is the time. What we gotta do, to be somewhere that we ain't never been before. All these AFC South championship games that we had, or AFC South champion titles that we have, but not an AFC championship game appearance. We won the AFC South so many times, second behind the Indianapolis Colts, but not one AFC championship game appearance. That gotta change. And tomorrow is the start of that. So go out there and do what you're supposed to be doing. Go out there and do what you're supposed to be doing. Like, come on now, we're not playing. We're not playing. I understand it's a game. I know technically it's a game, but we're not playing out here. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. We want to see a successful product on the field, and we have the capability to do it. We have the talent to do it. This is the most talented team from top to bottom that I've seen. Is it the best Texas team as of right now? No, I still think until proven otherwise, the 2011 Texas team is the best Texas team until proven otherwise. However, talent from top to bottom, when you talk about everybody in the secondary, the linebacker room, the defensive line, the edge rushers, the offensive lineman, the quarterback, the receiver, even the running backs, even the one that's on the shelf right now that's probably going to miss 4 to 5 games. Talent-wise, from top to bottom. Now, maybe the running backs, 2011, you do. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, 2011, you do got Arian Foster, and you also got Ben Tate. So that running back room 2011 was crazy. Again, I understand you got Dre in 2011, but the other the other receivers, is like Kevin Walter, Nick Anderson. Not Nick Anderson. David Anderson. Dick Anderson is Orlando Magic. David Anderson, like that. Like that's the other Jacoby Jones. Like those were the receivers in 2011. I mean, I think talent wise, you talk about Jalen Noel and the Higgins, and even what I think Cousins able to do. I think talent wise as a receiver. Now tight end, 2011 tight ends is better. Like 2011 got better tight ends. But again, we're not going top to bottom, player for player. I'm just saying from the totality of everybody in the mix, I feel like that 2000. I feel like this team is more talented. Just because you're more talented don't mean you're better. Because you can be more talented than somebody, but not better than somebody. I mean, Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. He's not nowhere near the most talented quarterback of all time. So, again, I think that this team is the most talented Texas team. And I feel like you have the talent and the capability to go out there and do what you need to do. And again, tomorrow, week one, is the prime example and the prime time to go out there and do that and get these things accomplished. To go out there and get these things accomplished. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you go out there and you get these things accomplished. And I think they have the capability to go out there, especially when you talk about you have the ability to go out there against a team that hasn't played in the preseason. Again, the Rams normally don't play preseason games. Like McVay doesn't normally have his stars out there for preseason. So you should be able to go out there and I wouldn't say catch them slipping, but while they're still trying to knock off some of their preseason, you know what I'm saying, not really getting to the flow of the season, you already, your guys went out there and played. You got some of them juices flowing. You ready to play. Go out there and play. And again, I think CJ's been ready to play. You heard CJ say he's done talking. He put that Burn Man at the Breakfast Club. Ain't got no more talking to me. Ain't no more talking to me. Like, are y'all finished or y'all done? So that's why I need. Hey, are y'all finished or are y'all done? Hey, what's up? What's up with it? What's up with it now? But it is what it is. So now I also want to do some other look also into the rest of week one. I want to do some I want to also do some rest talk. I want to also put some stuff down for week one. I think I have a feeling that the Eagles are going to beat Dallas in that season opener. And I also think that the Chargers are going to go out there in Brazil and beat they're going to beat the Chiefs. I think the Chargers are going to go out there and beat the Chiefs. I feel like the Chargers are going to go out there and defeat Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. And I feel like the Eagles are going to go out there and they're going to defeat the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. But seriously though, 'Week 1, you got Tampa Bay, going to Atlanta. Uh, Divisional matchup. It's a lot of divisional matchups week 1 too as well. You got Tampa going to Atlanta. I think these are going to be the two teams battling for the division. But I actually think Tampa. I think Tampa not only going to win division. I think Tampa is like one of the. I ain't gonna lie. I think Tampa is one of the best like 4 to 5 teams in the NFC. I think that I don't. I do think that the NFC South is the weakest division in the NFL. But I think Tampa Bay is a good enough team to actually be past it. I think that they are a team that I think they can win even a competitive division. I think they're one of the best teams, one like the four. I think they're one of the 4 to 5 best teams in the NFC. But I got Tampa beating the Atlanta Falcons. Cincinnati goes to Cleveland. Man, I don't think Cleveland defense gonna be able to handle Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T Higgins. I got Cleveland. I got Cincinnati beating Cleveland. Uh, Miami goes to Indy, like I did in the AFC South prediction. I got Indy beat Miami. I think that Miami Daniels might be the first coach fired this season. Honestly, I think they're gonna underachieve again. And this time they're gonna have Tua and still underachieve. So I got Indy defeating Miami. Vegas goes to New England. This is Vrabel's first time being the head coach in New England, his first game coaching as a New England Patriot. I think that Drake May is a decent quarterback. I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but I do think that he showed some things last year. And I have New England as my sleeper team to get into the playoffs. I think they're going to get in as a 7 seed in the playoffs. So I got New England actually beating the Las Vegas Raiders. Uh, then you have Arizona going to New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think New Orleans is going to end up, if not the number one pick, like they're going to be top three, 1, 2, or 3. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. It's like them and a couple other teams, obviously. So I got Arizona defeating New Orleans. Now, this is where some of the picks people probably not going to agree. Because I think a lot of those picks, I think people for the most part probably agree with me. This is where people might not really agree with me. It is. So Pittsburgh goes to the Jets. I think the Jets win. I think the Jets win. I think that I think the Jets win. I just do. I think the Jets are going out there. Aaron Rodgers is 40 plus years old. I just think that the New York Jets. I think that I think Justin Fields gonna be able to run the football, use his legs, and then he also has Gary Wilson, who's his college teammate, one of his college teammates. I think he's gonna be able to get Gary Wilson the ball. We seen actually how Justin Fields played when he had an actual receiver. I know last year he had George Pickens for time while he was in there while Russell was hurt, but his last year in Chicago when he had DJ Moore, like DJ Moore was balling with Justin Fields. That's one of the reasons why DJ Moore was kind of upset that the Bears moved on from Justin Fields and went to go the Caleb Williams route, because I think that was his best season to date was when he played with Justin Fields. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a game that he had like over 20 yards on Thursday Night Football game. So Justin Fields can get the football to receivers. And remember, Justin Fields was a very good quarterback at Ohio State when he had Gary Wilson and Chris Olave. So we seen Justin Fields with talent in college, and he was a decent quarterback, a quarterback that some people thought should have been a highly drafted quarterback. Again, he was a first round pick, but people thought that he was going to be, what I'm saying, like he could be a potential top 10 pick when he was with Ohio State. So I think him and Gary Wilson going to have some things clicking. I have the Jets. I ain't saying the Jets going to the playoffs. I ain't saying the Jets going to have a winning record. I do think that the Jets beat Pittsburgh tomorrow. I have a feeling that the Jets beat Pittsburgh, and I think that's actually going to be a very entertaining game to watch, honestly. Next, I have the Giants going to Washington, a divisional matchup. Divisional matchups are funky. I ain't gonna lie, divisional matchups are funny. They very funky. I got the Giants beating Washington. I know all the hype with Jalen Daniels, NFC Championship game, and people saying that they're gonna go to the Super Bowl this year. I seen them as a Super Bowl pick. I think that Washington is going to disappoint some people this year. I think they still have a winning record. I think they'll still make the playoffs. I think that I think they still make the playoffs. I think they'll make it in as a 7th seed. I think that they might not even be the number 2 team in their division. I don't think Washington is going to be the number 2 team in their division. I think it's Philly, another team, and then Washington. I don't think that Washington's going to be the. So I think the NFC East has 3 teams to make the playoffs. Shh, don't tell nobody. I think the NFC East has 3 teams to make the playoffs. But I have the Giants defeating Washington week 1. Again, 'cause I want to pick Washington. I really want to pick Washington first, but I'm like, nah, something is telling me I think the Giants are going to win. So I think the Giants are going to beat Washington. The next game, Carolina at Jacksonville. Like I had my season preview about the AFC South, I had Jacksonville winning. So I have Jacksonville winning. I have Jacksonville defeating the Carolina Panthers. Also, you have Denver going to Tennessee. I think Denver is another one of the best defenses in the league. I think Denver's another top 5 defense. I think Tennessee, kind of like I said about New Orleans, I think those are going to be like the teams are battling for like the worst division. I mean, the worst record in the NFL. Like those, I think Tennessee and New Orleans are going to be in that picking 1, 2, or 3 range. So I think that they're one of those teams that are going to be in that range, picking 1, 2, or 3. So I think Tennessee loses to Denver. So I have the Denver Broncos defeating Tennessee. Next game, San Francisco going to Seattle. What you call it, Brock Purdy's healthy and things like that. I think divisional matchup, again, another divisional matchup. I know it's at Seattle. I think that they're ready to play. And I think San Fran's gonna have a bounce back season. Do I think San Fran wins the division? I don't think San Fran wins the division, but I do think that San Fran does have a bounce back season. I have the 49ers defeating Seattle. Next, I have Detroit going to Green Bay. I know Green Bay just got Michael Parsons. I understand they got Jordan Love. I understand they got Matthew Golden. I have the Detroit Lions defeating the Green Bay Packers. I have the Detroit Lions defeating the Green Bay Packers. One more time. I have the Detroit Lions defeating the Green Bay Packers. I have the Detroit Lions defeating the Green Bay Packers. Sunday Night Football. Baltimore Bills going to Buffalo. Week 1, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a game. I ain't going to lie to you. This right here is going to be a game. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to fake it. This right here is going to be a game. I said it in the AFC division matchup when I said the Texans were going to beat the Buffalo Bills, but also lose to the Baltimore Ravens because until proven otherwise, until the Texans defeat the Baltimore Ravens, I will not pick Houston to defeat the Baltimore Ravens until they actually go out there and do it. I don't care if it's in Houston, Baltimore. I don't care if it's in South Africa. I don't care if it's in Dubai. I don't care if it's in the Philippines. I don't care if it's in Kansas. I don't care if it's in Colorado. I don't care if it's in Mexico. I don't care if it's in Chile. I don't care if it's in the Bahamas. I don't care if it's in Mars. I don't care if it's on Saturn. I don't care if it's on the moon. I don't care where it's at. NRG, if it's at Baltimore, I don't care where it's at. I don't care if they playing on where they filmed The Wire. I don't care where it's at. I don't care where it's at. Until the Houston Texans defeat the Baltimore Ravens, I'm not picking the Houston Texans to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. I don't care. I don't care. So again, but I did say it will be a 3-way tie, and the reason why I have it to be a 3-way tie, as far as the number 1 seed, the Texans beat Buffalo. The Texans lose to the Ravens. I have to have Buffalo beating the Ravens. And that's what I have. Week 1, Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills defeat the Baltimore Ravens. The game is in Buffalo anyway. So the Buffalo Bills defeat again. This is the last time Baltimore's played a game because they lost in the divisional round at Buffalo in the playoffs. I have the Bills defeating the Buffalo. I have the Buffalo Bills defeating the Baltimore Ravens. Monday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings at Chicago. Actually, I think this game is going to be better than I initially thought, too. When first, I'm like, this game is going to be trash. But as I sit back and think about it, I actually think this game is going to be a better game. And I can't wait to see exactly what happens especially with JJ McCarthy seeing his first time playing. But the um I have the Minnesota Vikings defeating because of their defense. I have the Minnesota Vikings. I think they have, and again, I think they have one of the top defenses in the NFL as well. I think they actually go out there and defeat the Chicago Bears. I have the Minnesota Vikings defeating the Chicago Bears. Um, and shout out to that boy Trill for the super chat. Love, definitely appreciate that. Shout out my boy Spitz. Hit that like button if you didn't know. We will have Wink specifically to send well wishes, and we all know how that ended up. Shout out True for the super chat love. Yeah. Shout out True. Shout out True for super chat love. Um Wink went live the other day. What was it? Tuesday, I think it was. Wink went live. So yeah, Wink went live. And Wink went live. Shout out my boy Wink. Like shout out my boy Wink. Shout out my boy Wink. Shout out my boy Wink. But Wink went live the other day, and again, everybody in the Discord, if you're part of the Discord, you already know. If you're a part of the Discord, there's a running joke when it comes to Wink going live. And if you're part of the Discord, you know. You know. If you're not part of Discord, what are you doing? You gotta. I mean, I know, man. I know it's kind of hard because like Honcho, hit up Honcho and get part of Discord. Because I'm telling you, man, the Discord is great conversation. We in the Discord every day. Like we in the Discord all the time. Obviously we in there type chatting all the time, and we jump in voice chat as well, and we be chopping up about a lot of times about random stuff. A lot of times we wouldn't be talking about sports. We be talking about just random stuff, and it's great conversation. But when we all talking about sports, it's the best sport conversation that you'll get by far. Like by far, like it's not even close. It's the best sport conversation. But there's a running joke in there when it comes to Wink going live before games. It's a running joke. And if you're part of the Disco, you already know what we're talking about. You already know what it is. If you're not, you just gotta be part of the Discord to understand exactly you you know exactly what you're talking about. Like you got to know. But shout out my boy Trill. Shout out my boy Trill out there with the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. He out there shipping pancakes to Colorado last time he said something. He said he was in Kansas City. He was out there shipping frozen pancakes to Kansas City. On them highways and byways out there on what highway is that? I forgot what highway it is. Then they run through Kansas City. I mean, I've drove through Kansas City like twice. No, three times. I've drove through Kansas City three times. I've drove through Kansas City three times, and I forgot why. I forgot what highway. Is that Highway 70? Is that 70 to run through KC? I can't remember. I can't. Yeah, the 70. Yeah, I thought it was 70. Yeah, yeah. Highway 70. Yeah. So yeah, so Trill's out there on Highway 70 flipping pancakes to from pancakes from Ohio to Kansas City. So shout out that boy Trill for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. But like I was saying though, when it comes to my predictions, like I said, I got just to go one more rundown when it comes to the week one predictions. I got Tampa beating Atlanta. I got Cincy beating Cleveland. I got Indy beating Miami. I got New England beating Las Vegas. I got Arizona beating New Orleans. I got the Jets. It's surprising for most people beating Pittsburgh. I have the Giants and surprising most people beating Washington. Got Jacksonville beating Carolina. I have Denver beating Tennessee. I have San Francisco beating Seattle. I have Detroit beating Green Bay. I have Buffalo beating Baltimore. And I have Minnesota beating Chicago. Those are my week one predictions for the rest of the NFL. I think that this is going to be a good football Sunday. I say this all the time. I've been saying this ever since I'm gonna say 2010, maybe 2011, for sure. For sure, 2012. I was definitely saying this back in 2012. This is the most wonderful time of the year. I know that we normally like contribute that with the holiday time. But I think like when football starts off, the first Sunday of NFL football is just is like no other. It's like no other. First Sunday of NFL football, the first weekend of the NBA playoffs. Those to me are the best sporting events as far as like to kick something off. This like the kid. When it comes to because the NBA, 'cause I'm a basketball fan. Like NBA that weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, because it's basketball all day long for 2 days straight. Like just basketball, like it all day long from basketball, 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 basketball. It don't really like, and they kind of did that a little bit now with football because it used to be just like because now when you add in the 7 seeds, now you got the Monday night game. So football, like the NFL, they add a little bit more to it, but it's not the same because we didn't grow up on that. You know what I'm saying? Now this next generation, they're growing up on that, so maybe they're gonna feel a bit differently. But I've been saying this since I was young. They're like, hey, that first weekend of the NBA playoffs is number two, but number one is that first weekend of the NFL season because everybody 0-0, and you're gonna get some upsets, and also just the anticipation. It's like waiting all year long. Like we haven't had legit. Like we were so ready to watch a preseason game. We'd be so ready. And again, now me, I'm a little bit different because I look for different things in the preseason than most people. Like I think some people just want football to be back. I'm looking at things. I'm looking at Ursery. I'm looking at Noel. I'm looking at Higgins. I'm looking at Woody Marks. I'm looking at these things during the preseason. Last year, I'm looking at Kamari. I'm looking at the rookies every year. Like every year, I'm anticipating whatever rookie we just drafted. And most people are just be hyped about, okay, we drafted CJ, or we drafted Deshaun Watson, or we like they looking at the quarterback and maybe a first round receiver. I think Tank had a lot of fanfare as well, but also Tank played at U of H. So things like that. But I remember looking for Clowney, looking for Will Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Like looking for Will Fuller and looking for Braxton Miller. I remember looking for them. You know what I'm saying? Now I know offensive linemen a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think I really was looking for Dwayne Brown or Titus Howard, but I remember looking for Justin Reed when we drafted Justin Reed. Looking for Nico Collins when Nico Collins was coming down the third round. Like I remember these type of things. So like I'm always every year looking to the preseason, but most people are just ready for football to be back. And it's just something, but again, it's not the football they know because stars are not playing. They running generic offenses and defenses. They're running very vanilla. They're not really running what they're going to run week one. So we haven't seen real legitimate football since the Super Bowl in February. That's why we be so hype about a draft and so hype about jerseys getting dropped in free agency, in OTAs and stuff like that. We have been at the edge of our seats, ready, ready for football, ready at the edge of our seats, ready for football, ready, ready. And we here. We are here right now. We are here ready right now. We are right now here ready for the NFL season. Ready. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so glad that we are finally here. And to be honest, I ain't gonna lie to you, it didn't take that long. Like once August got here, August went by like that. Like I actually ain't gonna lie, I feel like this is like the fastest August. Like this August has went by very fast. Now I ain't gonna lie, I also had a lot of stuff I was doing this month too that I'm normally not doing the month of August. I had a lot of ripping and running I was doing the month of August. So I do think that might contributed to this month going by extremely fast. But this month went by real fast. Like this month went by real fast. Like really, really fast. so so the fact that this month went by so fast, um, we are here, week one. And also I feel like the season started quicker too, because normally don't the season like I don't know, I feel like the season like starts. I don't know if I feel like the season starts a little bit later, but I feel like the season will start like after September. I mean, like well, after like September 11th. Like, well, I guess I mean was it's September what 7th. So I mean just a couple days in front. But I guess normal because I know a lot of times like week one be on the 11th or week one would be like on the 12th or something like that, or the 13th or the 14th. But so I guess I don't know. It just felt like that. It just felt like the season started a week earlier than normal to me. I don't know. I could be tripping, but it just felt like the season started a week earlier than normal. But I digress when it comes to that standpoint. But like I said, I do think that this year has went by extremely fast as far as the time from not having football to getting football. And we ready. We here and we ready to see exactly. So we ready to see exactly what's gonna happen. I think that the Texans go out there and they handle their business. I think the Texans go out there and handle their business and they defeat the Los Angeles Rams 27-17, 10-point win. Alex, I think that CJ does what CJ said he wanted to do, and that's actually close out a team. I think he does exactly what he said he was going to do, exactly what he wanted to do, and what this team needs him to do is go out there and close out. Come on, you gotta go out there and close them out. And I think that this team is talented enough to do just that. I feel like this team is talented enough just that to go out there and close out, to close them out. Like the team is talented. The team is talented enough to go out there and close them out. So I think that they will go out there and do that. I think that's what they'll go out there and do. I think they'll go out there and actually do what they're supposed to do. And I think that CJ and them will have a good performance. I think that I'm cautiously optimistic because again, you still don't know because exactly what Nick Kelly's gonna do. Nick Kelly was not my first choice or second choice or third choice to be the OC. I did want somebody with some play calling experience. I felt like that should have been the number one thing was to actually get somebody with play calling experience. I feel like that was like the number one thing to go out there and do and get somebody with play calling experience. I feel like that's the number one thing to do. And they didn't do that. They got somebody that never called plays before. But at least they did get somebody that's been in different systems and it's also been on the offensive side of the football more than just 5 years. In 2 of those years with the Texans. So I felt like that was better, and that was a more that was a more aggressive thing. So I'm cautiously optimistic to see. I'm very intrigued to see exactly what Ursary is going to do because heard a lot of good things, seen a lot of good things in the preseason, and again, I haven't seen a rookie offensive lineman be talked about this much since Dwayne Brown. Like I said, I'm not saying he's Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown at one point in time was the best left tackle in the NFL. I'm not saying he's Dwayne Brown, but what I am saying, this is the person that they talked about the most from an offensive line standpoint as a rookie for the Houston Texans since Dwayne Brown. We didn't hear all these type of things for Tyus Howard when we drafted him in the first round. We didn't hear all these things from Xavier Sulafilo or who was a second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't hear these things from about Juice Scruggs. We didn't hear these things about Kenyon Green. We didn't hear these things from what's his name? What's the other offensive lineman we drafted even recently? Uh we didn't hear these things from Julian Davenport. We didn't hear these things from what's that other offensive lineman? Blake Fisher. We didn't hear anything about Blake Fisher, who was a second round pick as well. Again, Blake Fisher, Juice Scruggs, second round picks. Ursary, second round pick. Ursary was your second round pick. Juice Scruggs was your first second round pick. You moved up to get Juice Scruggs actually in the second round. And you hear also things about Blake Fisher. You hear the things about Tyus Howard and Kenyon Green, who were both first round picks. You hear things about Julian Davenport. You hear things about Xavier Sulafilo. You hear these things about, I'm trying to think of another offensive lineman that we drafted like in between now and Dwayne Brown. I'm trying to think of another offensive lineman that we drafted first, second, or third round. Either way, it doesn't matter. We haven't heard the type of things that we've heard about them that we hearing about when it comes to Ursary. So I think that Ursary definitely has Max Sharpton. Thank you, Max Sharpton. Thank you, Nick Martin. Thank you, Nick Martin. It was more so because of his brother. We did hear some things about Nick Martin, but it wasn't really Nick Martin. It was because his brother was Zach Martin. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a little bit with Archie Manning. We hyping him up because his uncle is Peyton, Hall of Famer, and his other uncle is Eli, who won multiple Super Bowls, and his grandpa is Archie, who's a Hall of Famer. But not really because of really what Archie's doing. Kind of same thing with Nick Martin. Like Nick Martin, but we're not hearing the same things because we're mostly talking about that his brother is Zach Martin, so he got the pedigree because his brother is Zach Martin, not really because on his own strength and his own muscle. But as a rookie, we're hearing a lot of good things about Ursery. A lot of good things about Ursery. Like a lot of good things about Ursery. And I'm very intrigued. I can't wait to see it. And like I said earlier, my main thing is I know everybody's main thing is protecting CJ, obviously. But my main thing is can they actually scheme and coach a legitimate running game? Because you're not going to have Joe Mixon for 4 weeks. So can you actually coach, scheme, call, design, and run a legitimate running game? That doesn't mean you get 1,000 yards. Doesn't mean you get 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not what that is. Because you can get 99 yards on a broken play. We seen what you call it do it last year. We seen DP do it twice last year. Get big yardage, 50-yard, 60-yard touchdown on broken plays. So you can get yardage and a touchdown on broken plays. The defense messed up, whatever. We seen it against Detroit in the Thanksgiving game back in 2012 when they thought, what's his name? What's that running back name for the Texans? That was the backup to Arian Foster and the backup to Ben Tate because he was the third string running back. Okay, because he went to because after when Gary Kubiak was the OC in Baltimore, he went to Baltimore with Gary Kubiak and was their starting running back. What was his name? He had the 80-yard touchdown against the Lions in the Thanksgiving game back in 2012. War number 28. What is his name? What is his name? What is his name? What is his name? Forsett. Justin Forsett. Justin Forsett. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, appreciate you, JJ. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, Justin Forsett, that exactly what his name was. Again, I can remember a lot of things. I'm horrible with names. If y'all ain't know that, I'm horrible with names. I don't know. I can remember all type of touchdowns and who played where and what they did and what number they wore, what the score. I can remember a lot of things. Names ain't one of them. I am horrible with names. And not just with football, just with people in general. It be people be out there that know me and I be talking to them, and I'll be like, I don't really know this person. I'll be sitting there talking to him. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, about. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know your name. I'm horrible with names. I don't know why. I'm horrible with names. It's crazy. It's like I don't know. It's like a disconnect. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I'm horrible with names. But yeah, Justin Forsett. Yeah, Justin Forsett. Justin Forsett had got an 80-yard touchdown on the Lions because of a broke play because they thought they tackled him and he took off running and he scored and they threw that the challenge flag and you couldn't challenge because those touchdown plays are automatically reviewed. So since the touchdown was automatically reviewed and you pulled out the challenge flag, that ended up being an actual flag and they couldn't challenge it because he actually did hit the ground. It shouldn't have been a touchdown, but we got a touchdown on the technicality. And again, I'm cool with us getting touchdown technicality, especially with us winning overtime. However, However, I say all that to say you can get yardage and touchdowns on broken play. Yes, there was Thanksgiving. Yes, there was a Thanksgiving game. Thanksgiving game 2012. We played on Thanksgiving twice. 2012 when we beat the Detroit Lions, and then 2020 when we also beat the Detroit Lions. Should have got a Thanksgiving game last year, but they gave us Christmas instead. But it should have been Thanksgiving against Dallas, but they gave us Christmas instead against the Ravens. And I would have rather had Thanksgiving against Dallas than have Christmas versus the Ravens. I said that then, and it's not just hindsight 2020, but also with hindsight 2020, I definitely would rather had that Thanksgiving game versus the Dallas Cowboys than have the Christmas Day game against the Ravens. Again, conversation for another day. But I say all this, say this. You can get yards and touchdowns on broken plays. So just because you had them having and coaching and designing and having a legitimate good running game does not mean you can run 130 yards in two touchdowns. No, because so you can get, like I said, you can get 99 yards on a bad play. Look at Lamar Miller on Monday Football against Tennessee, 100 yards. And it was like the slowest 99-yard touchdown the whole time he was running. I'm like, how come can't nobody catch him? Cause I know they said Lamar Miller was fast. I never really seen it because he would run, but I'm like, why can't nobody catch him? Like touchdown, yeah, Houston Texans, yeah, we won. We touchdown Monday Night Football, 99 yards. Why can't nobody catch him though? Like, like I know they say he can run fast. I didn't see it. I did not see that he could run fast. So I did not think that he could run fast. But hey, he was able to run fast. So I say all that says you can get those type of yards on big plays depending on what the defense gives you. But can you run it when you need to run it? Can you run the football when you need to run the football? Like that's my thing. Can you run the football when you need to run the football? When it's third and short, when the defense knows that you're about to run the football because it's 3rd and 2 and you need to get a first down. Can you run the football then? 4th and 1, 4th and inches. Can you run the football when you need to run the football? When you're trying to run down the clock, as you up by a touchdown and the defense is using their timeouts and you're trying to eat up the clock. Can you run the football like we did in the Jazz game at Jacksonville? That was really the best. No, I take that back. The best example of last year able to run the football. I know a lot of people will say, I do think our running attack looked good week 1. I think that's really the best it looked. I know people will probably bring up that Dallas game on Monday Night Football. You're right, Trill. 3rd and goal, exactly. I agree with you on that. 3rd and goal. I know a lot of people bring up that Dallas game when Mixon ran for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Stat wise, yes, but that's not it. 2 times that our run attack looked at like a running attack. The last game against Jacksonville, when you're up by possession and you're eating the clock, and they know that they're trying to run the football. They know you're trying to run the football. And you're running the football. And they can't stop you. You're breaking the defense's back. Because they can't stop it. That. And another one? Coming out halftime in the divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs. When we dominated the entire 3rd quarter. You all know we gave the Chiefs the football with less than 2 minutes. We got the football coming out at halftime, and we had the football for all the way up to 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. And also, I didn't know this until recently that Greg Popovich, who's the offensive line coach, who last year was the assistant offensive line coach, was the one who helped orchestrate that drive. I'm like, well, dang. That's the reason why they actually interviewed him for the OC job. And that's also the reason why they decided to keep him when they hired Nick Caley. Because of what he did in that instance. That was big boy. That was grown man type stuff. That's what I want to see because that actually shows an actual legitimate running attack. That actually shows big boy status as a running attack. That actually shows that. That right there shows that. That's what that is. And that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm wanting to see. Not just tomorrow, but the entire season. I want to see us run the football. I want us to be able to run the football effectively. I want us to be able to see us run the football with assertiveness. I want us to be able to see us run the football without having a superstar in Joe Mixon. That hey, we could turn the football, turn around and get the football to Woody Marks. We could turn around and get the football to Nick Chubb, to a Joe Mixon, to a Dari, even a DP. I can turn around the football to a British Brooks. I can turn around and hit the football, and I know because of the way I block it and the way they scheme it, they coach it and call it, we can get positive yards. We can move this football. It is not third and long. It's not second and 9 or third and 8. We're talking about second and 4. We're talking about third and 3. We're talking about moving the football on third and inches. Like Trill said, we're talking about in the third and goal at the goal line, able to punch it in and get a touchdown because they know that's what we're trying to do. Because when you do that, having a healthy, good running attack, it protects your quarterback, y'all. Because now, them edge rushers know it can't just go hot pursuit for the quarterback. Because they do that, cut down the back door, running back, scatting and batting, and get into the second level. So they can't just pin their ears back and go. They can't pin their ears back and head hunt. And also, when you do that, that play action. So like I said, so when they run back, they running back and play action. Now I'm looking back, got Nico Collins deep, got Noel in the slot, got Higgins over there, got Stover right there. My running back, I can dump it off there if the pressure getting to me. But hey, I got time. Play action. 12. Best receiver in the league. Hey, the football going right there. Nico. Touchdown. Houston Texans. Touchdown, Houston Texans. Like, that's what a good running attack. How you think Andre Johnson, like, again, Andre Johnson was Andre Johnson. But having Arian Foster in that play action did matchup wonders. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sit up there and act like it ain't when it did. I ain't gonna lie to you. So that's what I'm wanting to see, not just tomorrow all season long, but starting tomorrow. I need to see this. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do think that I do want to see that, especially again. I know we don't have Joe Mixon. I'm very intrigued to see what Willie Marks do. I think Willie Marks, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Willie Marks can make a name for himself, maybe not as a starter, but as a main contributor. And maybe we could have like a dual running back situation, kind of similar to like, when Alvin Kamara stepped on the scene and you had both Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, both of them in New Orleans had 1,000 yards. Actually, Mark Ingram had 1,000 yards and Alvin Kamara had like 800. Alvin Kamara, he was type of running back. He'll get you 800 rushing yards, 800 receiving yards. But they both was Pro Bowlers in New Orleans. They both were Pro Bowlers coming out of the backfield. For whatever y'all want to say, whichever you say about Pro Bowlers. But however, I mean, Alvin Kamara was Rookie of the Year, and he didn't even lead his team in rushing. We see the things with Montgomery and also Gibbs. So like having to do a running attack, that's something, and I think that's something that Woody Marks has the ability to do when Joe Mixon comes back. But we need to see what he can do as of right now. Because again, at least 4 weeks. And I think, in my personal opinion, I ain't gonna lie to you, in my personal opinion, I think if the running attack is well, if we're able to run the football well, if Nick Caley and Pavich can coach and scheme up a good running attack, and we can run it good with Nick Chubb and also William Marks, and the Texans have a good record week 5, because Mixon at the very least is going to miss 4 weeks being on the pup list. So he's not ready until week 5, and that's the Ravens game. If we're 4-0, if we're 3-1, 4-0, 3-1, and we're running the football well, and this is very key about running the football well, I would save Joe Mixon that Ravens game. The following week is a bye week, and then the week after is Seattle on Monday night. But that game is a late Monday night game. The game's like at 10 o'clock at night. So you basically cheat and get some extra weeks, some extra time in for him to be fully healthy for that long stretch from Seattle to the rest of the season and have him good for the playoffs. So I will hold him out. If you again now, if you're struggling in the running game and you struggle in the running game, that's different. Obviously, you struggle in the running game, you need to have all your horses back. But if you're not struggling in the running game, if you're able to run the football well, you've been running the football well. Hey, you've been running the football well. Keep doing what you're doing. Like if you keep running the football well, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I said we got a Rams fan in here. Tell me he a fan of CJ. Also, there's another thing too. CJ going back home. Like that's I'm pretty sure people have talked about this, but but I'm pretty sure people have been talking about this. But CJ going back home. I think this is CJ's first time playing in California um since the Rose Bowl, which was his second to last year at Ohio State. And this is the last time he's played in California. This is his that I see a Rams fan say he's a CJ fan. I'm pretty sure. I mean, especially if he's from LA or from Cali, he's probably a CJ fan because people be hometown kids. I mean, Matt Stafford from Texas, even though he's from the Dallas area, so it's not like like when the Texans play Cam Ward. Like Cam Ward is from like he's from down this way, and like Jalen Hurts is from Channelview. Uh, Kyler Murray is from somewhere in Dallas. Pass from White House that's over by Dallas or by Tyler, if I'm not mistaken. I think White House is by Tyler. Um, I know it's like a whole bunch of like quarterbacks that's from like Texas. Like the two states that quarterbacks come from is Texas and California. So so it it's not crazy and like out the loop like a Cali Cali quarterback versus a Texas quarterback versus a Cali team and a Texas team. It's not that hard to it's not that surprising. It's not that surprising. Like Arizona comes to Houston. Kyle Murray's coming back to Texas, coming back to Houston. Same thing like when Tennessee comes to Houston in a couple weeks. Cam Ward's coming to Houston, so coming back home. I mean, we've seen it for years with VY when he was playing for Tennessee. Uh, but yeah, talking about it was that he said Tunsil Flags is legendary. Hey, I do think I ain't gonna lie, I think that Tunsil might have some of his stuff cleaned up try to prove a point. So I don't think he's going to have as many false starts as he had with the Texans. I think kind of like I think he kind of felt entitled with the Texans because the Texans gave up 2 first round picks to get him. Um, and us getting rid of him is more so of us that getting rid of him. Like the Dolphins wasn't trying to get rid of Larry Tunsil. The Texans were trying to acquire Larry Tunsil, and they were desperate when they did it. So I felt like him coming here to Houston, he was entitled. He felt like that because, like, hey, man, they gave up 2 first round picks and a second round pick, and the sign the trade for me. They gave me the contract to be the highest paid offensive line. So I do feel like with us, he felt a little bit entitled. Do I think that he's going to have false starts? Yes. Do I think that he's going to hurt their drives? Yes. I heard a stat the other day that he's like since '99, he has the second most. He's the second most penalized offensive lineman since 1999. He's the he has the he's the third most like drive ending offensive lineman. Means all his drives that he's had false starts in. He has the most drives that are stalled after his false starts. It means if he has a false start on that drive and that drive ended in no points or ended in turnover on downs or punted, he has the most with false starts. And I don't think that trend will completely continue in Washington because I think in Washington again the Texans gave him to Washington versus Washington trying to acquire him. But it is hard for a Tiger to change the stripes. I just don't think it's just going to be as egregious as it was for us. That's my only thing. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was for us, but I do think he's still going to contribute some of that, but it's just not going to be as bad as it was for the Texans. Um, that's just what it is. But hey, appreciate everybody coming through, man. Definitely appreciate that for the first live of the NFL season preview game. We're gonna do this before every game. Now, we're normally gonna do it on Friday. I didn't do it yesterday because of the Chief and Chargers game that was on Friday night, and it was on YouTube. So I know people gonna be watching that. People gonna be waiting for that. I know people probably watching college football too, but I know that especially with that being on YouTube, it probably wouldn't have did nothing. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait till the day before. And also last year, I did my live right before the game, like the day before the game. I did my live on that Saturday, and then we went to Indy and we handled business. So on Saturday, right before the game, tomorrow we're gonna go out there, we're gonna handle some business again. But going forward, the lives will be on Friday night, same time, between 7:30 and 8:30. So it might be at 7:30, might be at 8, might be at 8:30, just depends. But this is gonna be somewhere around this time. It's gonna be somewhere around this time. Somewhere around this time. But every Friday going forward for the rest of the season, live preview. We're gonna break it down. I'm gonna go through the week games as well, and I'm also gonna preview things I think the teams can do to exploit each other, things to look out for with other team as well. Preview score predictions, things like that, and then tomorrow after the game, immediately after the game, in right here right here. Make sure we going live right after the game because we gotta break down what we just seen. We gotta talk about exactly what just happened. So we're gonna break it down. So make sure y'all pull up. Make sure y'all pull up after the game tomorrow. We're gonna do it after every game. Make sure y'all pull up to watch and see exactly what happened and exactly what we're talking about. Definitely appreciate that. I see more people jumped in here, man. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm gonna give y'all some time. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. I'm gonna give y'all some time. Hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. I'm gonna give y'all some more time. Hit that like button right now. Hit that like button. Already. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Somebody said they heard they heard CJ was. Hey, hey, bruh. It do seem like that way. I know. I know he went to Ohio State. I get that. But here's some things about CJ that make it is some things that make CJ it make you think that CJ that he you know what I'm saying? Like and some of the things he's and some things he's said he's CJ is very Cali. I'll put it to you like that. CJ is definitely West Coast. He's definitely Cali. Take that how you will. However you want to take that. I'm not saying nothing definitively. And I'm not putting nothing out there for speculation. I will say that CJ is definitely Cali. He definitely West Coast. Take that what you will. Wherever you want to associate that with. Wherever you want to associate that. I see what you just put out there. I seen what you did, Swisher. I seen that. I'm not saying nothing definitively because I don't know. I don't know. But I will say he make you think something. Like he make you know what I'm saying? Because some of the things he done said, some of the things he done, some of his mannerisms, some of the, you know what I'm saying, some of the, you know what I'm saying, some of the, I don't know. It seems like it's very, very, very West Coast, California style for a very specific, particular version of California West Coast. I'm not making any type of claims or speculations, but I am saying this. He's very West Coast, very California. He's from Cali. He's supposed to be very Cali. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's supposed to be very Cali. You know what I'm saying? Just like you meet somebody from Houston, they very Houston. They very Screwston, Texas. City of Sir. Very, you know what I'm saying? Come down. Hey, man, hold up. What you talking about, baby? Hold up. Know what I'm saying? Well, very that. Very south side. Very that. Very that. You meet somebody from the north side, they very acres home, very north side. Meet somebody from the south side, they very sunny, you know what I'm saying? They very south side, very South Park, sunny side, very third wardish, very third wardish. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, from the west side, very, 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 very west side. It's very, very SWAT. So you see, there are people, you know what I'm saying, when you meet them, they're very some way. CJ Stroud is very California, very West Coast, but a very specific version of the West Coast. But again, that's up to you to decide if you think that he's very that one time. To think he's very that version of the West Coast. That's up to y'all. I'm just that's just up to y'all. I'm just saying. That's it. I'm just saying. But speaking of that, he on the west side tomorrow. West Coast side. And I think he gonna show up and show out. Like I say, to the tune of 275 and 3 touchdowns, and the Texans pulling out for victory 27-17. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Man, I holla. Also, my bad, I forgot to tell y'all, hey, shout out to everybody for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. If you hit the super chat love, definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Also, if you hit the like button, thank you for that as well. Make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't hit it already, make sure you do it now. And hey, and I know some people said they late. Don't worry, go back and watch it. I'm also put some timestamps on it if you want to go back and watch the timestamp as well. So make sure y'all go back and watch it from beginning to end. because there's some good stuff, especially in the beginning. If you missed the beginning, you need to go back and watch it because there's some good stuff, especially at the beginning. Very good stuff. So make sure y'all go back and rewatch it. Make sure y'all share this. Y'all like it. But make sure y'all share it. Specifically, tell your friends, tell everybody. Make sure y'all watch it. Make sure y'all share it. And shout out to everybody for the like button. Definitely appreciate that. And shout out to everybody that hit the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that as well. If you hit that super chat love, definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that love. Definitely appreciate that likes. If you shared it, definitely appreciate the share. If you comment, definitely appreciate you with the comments. Keep the comments coming. I read them. Appreciate you so much. Hey, I know y'all been missing it, but your boy's back. Football's back. The Texans are back. Tomorrow week 1 against the Rams, we're gonna do what we gotta do, man. I holla.